My name is Sharon, and I'm a grateful and blessed recovering addict.
My name is Marty Miller, presently the shelter coordinator at the Boston Rescue Mission.
My name is Reinaldo. I was born in Puerto Rico. At the age of 2, my family abandoned me. I didn't have no role models in my life.
Got involved with marijuana, LSD, in the beginning, some alcohol, and my life started to get sidetracked at that point. 14, 15 years old, I started experimenting with methamphetamine and heroin, and it's been a long, dreary road.
I gotten pregnant at 14. When my father found out I was 5 months pregnant, father had told me when I got pregnant that I should have died when I was born. And that stayed with me all these years. And because of his strictness, I think I rebelled as a child because I wanted my own life.
I started smoking my marijuana, cannabis, and I kind of liked it that because it used to numb all my pains, all my feelings, all my thinking was numb, so I didn't have to worry about nothing.
I'm inviting dealers into my mother's house who was giving me drugs so they could start selling. So now I have a heroin habit, and I'm doing the crack cocaine. I would bag up the heroin and bag up the coke with them, and I would get my supply. I was obsessed with not only the heroin and the crack, I was obsessed with the money and the lifestyle.
I was in a relationship, and my daughter would be born a year later, so I thought first time I would have any type of responsibility that I should maybe think about putting the drugs and the alcohol aside on a serious note. So I got into recovery, went to a halfway house. I stayed sober for a year, and eventually I ended up having a relapse, and that brought me back to my addiction, eventually back to prison.
Days went on and years went on. There were more people coming in, more dealers coming in, and I started just selling, and it had got to the point where I had like 7 to 12 dealers in my house a day, plus the customers from out in the street. And this went on for this whole 30 years, It was so bad the police was doing their details outside of my house, and the detectives. It stopped being the blue and white cruisers, and it started being the detectives themselves. No matter what went on, I always told everybody, if my mother comes downstairs, hide everything. But deep down inside, I knew she knew. So I broke down and I told her, I said, Ma, I'm on drugs. I said, because if I should die, anything happened to me, I wanted to know what I was taking. So she said, why don't you get some help? And I said, okay, I'm going tomorrow. Every day was tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow.
I got arrested with a lot of drugs, a lot of stuff, And when I went in front of the judge, he said that I was garbage. He called me an insect. He called me a lot of things. That was a wake-up call for me.
The police came. They kicked the door in. And I walked right by him out the front door. So my mother says, Sharon, what was that all about? I said, I don't know. They was looking for somebody. Not telling her that it was me they was looking for. But my hair had got dyed and they didn't know. I changed my whole outlook. Thinking that everything was fine, they had came in the door the next night. And they said, handcuff her to the radiator. Don't let her out of your sight. I go to court and sick as a dog. That's the only time I detoxed.
I did 9 years, 7 months and some days. And that's when really my life started getting a little bit more respect. I should, respect more myself. Cause I didn't respect myself. I didn't respect nobody. Back to step one, I went through some feelings, and I went back to using. They never told me that feelings are like a baseball game, that eventually that ball is gonna go over the fence. And it's painful, so I use. That's what I know how to do. Use, hurt people. I got so tired of that kind of life. Lost completely. People say that they hit bottom. Oh man, my bottom got trap doors. You know, I got lost completely. I lost everything. Every single thing. I lost myself. I lost my kids. I lost everything.
I figured because of the early age that I started with my addiction, I never really emotionally grew to a certain point that other people might have, or I certainly didn't. So anyway, I ended up relapsing, and I ended up losing everything I had acquired in the 5 years since I had gotten out of Concord and stayed sober, working. I eventually ended up losing my job. I was unemployable. No one would trust me. So I ended up going to detox quite a few times in the next 10 months, and this was in 2001. And eventually, I ended up homeless. I ended up in the streets of Boston. I had been evicted from my apartment, so I wasn't very familiar with the shelters in downtown Boston, and I didn't know where to go. And someone told me about the Kingston House. When I got here, I was pretty much hopeless. I didn't have a job. I was strung out on heroin again. Had no idea what I was doing. And while I was here at that time, there were several staff members that would actually walk around and ask people if they were in need of help.
It was August 2nd, 2004. Never forget, that's my clean day. And when I came through this door at Kingston, Boston Rescue Mission, I couldn't even walk. I had a little bag of clothes right there. You know, a few underwears, a few socks, toothpaste, the other one. That's it. No self-esteem, no willpower, nothing. I had nothing, man. I didn't have Reinaldo. Didn't have nothing, man. And when I was walking up the stairs, I was so weak that the towel that I had to drop it on the floor because it was so heavy. A towel so heavy that I had to drop it on the third floor. And they said, Reinaldo, what you gonna say? That's too heavy. Leave it there. You just give me a bed. And by the grace of God, man, I don't even belong here. I'm not even supposed to be here because of my lifestyle, because this all the things that I've been through and all the people that I hurt. And I mean, it's incredible, man. You know, I'm here to let you know today that there's a better way. And I've seen a lot of miracles in here. I mean, I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of miracles in here. You know, and right now you're seeing one of them right now.
I had been walking with the devil for so long. I had lost all spirituality, lost all hope, I felt worthless, hopeless, all the less thans that you can imagine. So I went to this woman and I talked to her. And every day she would pray for me. And I've been talking to her ever since and going to church with her ever since, and I love her. And I told her, you know, that I'd been using for over 30 years of my life, because I don't remember my 20s, my 30s, my 40s. All I remember is now I'm 50 years old and I'm trying to get my life together. I'm trying to change. I had prayed that I would bring my 50th birthday in clean and sober. And I got that here at the Kingston House. I'll be a year clean December 29th. I am so happy. And it's all through God's grace in this house. Because without this house, I don't know where I would be. You know, I don't think there's any place like this. This house is like heaven on earth. It gives you what you need, you know, not what you want, but what you need. It's helped me turn my life around. I've done 2 job readiness programs and completed them, graduated. I know now a little about the internet and emails. I know how to email, computers, and I'm going back to school because I want to be a substance abuse counselor. And I have great counseling here. The counselors are they're the best, you know, and they're spiritual also. So it's like God put me where I need to be. And I know that now I do have God in my life, and it's because of this house and the people in it.
It was, I guess, the toughest part of my life right there, those 30 days. You know, trying to get comfortable with Reinaldo, you know, and admitting that I'm an addict. I mean, I cannot change that. I mean, I could deny anything, I can say anything, but in reality, bottom line is that I'm an addict, you know, and I can lose everything just like that by a bad choice.
So I made a conscious decision that I was done. Through God's grace, December 29th this year, I'll still be done, because I refuse to go back to that lifestyle. I refuse to live like that ever again. I refuse to put my family through that ever again. You know, I have them all back in my life. I'm happy. I'm at peace with myself. I also help the women downstairs. I pray for them, with them when they go on their court cases. I let them know that as long as they have their heart open to God, that they can get through that trial.
I'm also working here at the front desk. If anybody come in sick or whatever, I send them to detox so they can start that process. Same process that they gave to me, I gotta give it away.
The addiction is out there and it's everywhere. It could be somebody on your own team, you know, that you don't know about, who's crying deep inside and wants to get out, that they can talk to somebody, but it's embarrassment for people to come forward and tell their co-worker and say, I need help, I'm an addict. People don't want to use that word addict because it's a lot of guilt and shame and embarrassment in that word. But I am an addict. I'm a gratefully blessed recovering addict. And if I can do it, anybody can do it.
You know, here the mission is, that's just what we do. You know, we just help people. So just give them the basic necessities of life. You know, some people can't get that.
This is what it's like, finding your feet again, the part of you that couldn't finally thinks you can.